Okay, Dave Prowse back again with another video. Previously, we showed symmetric and asymmetric algorithms, and we showed how these work when you connect to a site or try to log into a secure site that's using HTTPS. Generally, that is part of a PKI. But a public key infrastructure is more than just the website you connect to. It's the entire system of hardware and software, the certificate that's used, policies and procedures that put them in place, and most especially people. And I'll get back to that in just a moment. What I want to show here is a little bit more about the types of technology that you'll see within a standard PKI that a website will use. And one of the most famous companies that offers certificates for a PKI is VeriSign, and now from Symantec as of the recording of this video. And they offer all kinds of different security options for your website, so this is definitely something to look into for a security admin. Here's one example, SSL certificates. And we'll go down here and we'll see we have a lot of different options for SSL certificates. We'll click on the first one here, Secure Site Pro, and take a look at some of the key features. Now, you get a lot of different terminology. You'll hear people call them SSL certificates or TLS certificates or SSL TLS or SSL extended or all kinds of different names. But generally, when you're dealing with this kind of stuff, what you're looking for is you want to have the TLS protocol running. And as of the recording of this video, version 1.2. But a lot of people will just call that SSL because it was SSL that was the standard for so long. Anyways, you can refer to these as SSL certificates. That's okay. And if you look here, it tells you, okay, if somebody connects, they see the green address bar, they see the padlock. That's very common. And it tells you something important here. Up to 256-bit encryption with 128-bit minimum for online transactions. That's the session data encryption. That's the symmetric protocol that's being used. It is variable. It could be 256-bit. If there's not enough, if there's too many concurrent connections, that'll go down. And I'll show an example of that in just a minute. Now, that's the symmetric encryption. These SSL certificates also support asymmetric encryption for the key exchange. Could be RSA, could be DSA, or ECC, whichever you decide to use. And if you have a mission-critical, real-time priority website, you might want to go with that ECC, the elliptic curve, because of the smaller bit length, so less computational power is required with that as compared to RSA or DSA. And lots of other stuff here that they offer, warranties and all that kind of stuff. The key point here is you really want to look over the features for a given product and make sure it's exactly what you want. And when you sign up, check the SLA, check the service level agreement, and make sure you're getting exactly what you need technically and from a methodical standpoint. You want to make sure it works the way you want and you have the algorithms that you need at your disposal. So that being said, let's look at two banking websites. Here's one website. This is Citigroup. And when you connect to their site, it automatically drops you into an HTTPS page. And you see the padlock here. We'll click on that now, and we'll go to connection. And we can see here that this particular connection is encrypted with 256-bit encryption. Okay, very good. TLS 1.2, RSA for the key exchange, AES 256, extremely powerful block cipher for the actual session data transfer. So that's great. Citigroup offers us that. But I also connected to Bank of America. And on that logon screen, we click the padlock, go to connection, and we see that it is encrypted with 128-bit encryption. TLS 1.0, RC4 128. So a little bit of a difference there. Now, I'm not saying one site is more secure than the other. I'm not here to tell you that. I'm just here to show you what's happening at this particular moment. It most likely is that Bank of America uses pretty much the same type of certificate. It's just that they have too many connections right now and it's been dropped down to TLS 1.0 an RC4 128 as opposed to the AES 256. The same thing could happen with Citigroup. You might get a 256 connection now, but you might get a 128 connection later. The same thing happens with PayPal, which we showed in another video, which at the time of the recording of the video had 256 AES. But, if you were to connect again later, or say at peak hours, you might get a 128-bit RC4 connection. That's kind of the backup connection, so to speak. The most secure websites do not allow that. For example, if you want to look at secret information or higher on the federal government on any of their websites, it's got to be AES 128 minimum. There is no RC4 allowed. So it's something to think about there, some interesting stuff. But you got to realize that, most of these certificates that you buy, it's not always going to be the most amazing thing ever as far as encryption goes. AES 256 will happen for X amount of concurrent connections. Anything beyond that will probably drop down to 128, either AES 128 or RC4. Now, all that is great. At least you're getting an encrypted connection, and hopefully you're getting a very encrypted connection. But to be honest with you, man-in-the-middle attacks aren't going to happen that often with this type of connection. They do happen, but what's more important to secure is the entire PKI. It's the whole system. Where are the servers located physically? Who has access to them? Who are these users that work with these servers? Is there any way to circumnavigate the network that stores, or the server that stores the certificates? What are the policies involved by the company that has this website? Who's allowed access to it? Has it been tested? Has it been audited? There's all kinds of things you want to look at, including that SLA that you sign off on. And you want to make sure that the PKI is safe. You don't want to just be like, oh, okay, we're running encryption. That's great. You want to make sure that the entire PKI is safe. And again, that PKI is the whole system: hardware, software, policies, people, procedures. You're working with a system that creates certificates, it distributes them, it manages them, and very importantly, stores them. And even more importantly, revokes digital certificates if they have been compromised, or at least is supposed to revoke them through a CRL. So, again, make sure your certificate authority that you use is giving you exactly what you want, and make sure that the entire PKI system is secure.